The UVA Swimming program and seeking out friendly media is rubbing our noses in it now. Chris Graham here for Augusta Free Press. A alert reader sent me a link to a story on the competitive swimming news website SwimSwam. I'll say that one time real fast. The story, quick read. It was a rehabilitative handout to UVA Swimming in the form of a puff piece highlighting head coach Todd DeSorbo's approach to coaching women. I'm not making this up. The story was called Todd DeSorbo and the Power of Confidence. It was published on Monday. I'm recording this on Wednesday. It somehow avoided even a single mention of the 2-year probation handed down to DeSorbo's associate head coach Gary Taylor, who admitted to emotional misconduct of athletes at NC State, Auburn, and Cavalier Aquatics, the competitive swim program at the Piedmont Family YMCA in Charlottesville. This all dating back to 2015. Now, we were the ones who broke the story on the probation in a report published to AFP on June 9th. And in the course of our reporting for that first article and several follow-ups, we've shared the stories of several swimmers, all teen girls or young women, who recounted their stories of emotional abuse involving Taylor. Now, you'd think the news involving Taylor would merit at least some mention in that SwimSwam article on Todd DeSorbo, who was an assistant coach at NC State alongside Taylor, then recruited Taylor to the job at Cat Aquatics, and then later hired him to be the associate head coach at UVA Swimming. Instead, we got a piece from a contributor named Aglaia Pizzato in which DeSorbo is allowed to muse on, quote, the unique challenges that come with coaching female athletes. Here's a quote from Todd DeSorbo to that effect. I will always say, if I knew I was going to be a coach, I would have majored in psychology instead of accounting. Numbers and data are great, but confidence is everything. And then there was a setup from Pizzato leading to a quote. So her setup was Todd's biggest priority, making sure his athletes believe in themselves, after which we got this lofty sounding quote from our Todd DeSorbo. The quote, day-to-day training is centered around building confidence. By the time they step up on the blocks, they should already know they're ready. If they've done the work, they should feel good about their training and be confident in their ability to perform. Now, contrast those observations from DeSorbo about the importance of building confidence with the complaint shared with us by Taylor's former swimmers at Auburn. Starting there. One athlete who wrote that Taylor had confronted her about taking a mental health break to go home one weekend said the coach, quote, never once asked if I was okay or anything and made me feel guilty from my mental health and trying to take care of it. Taylor, in a meeting with another swimmer who he had told repeatedly one swim season that she was not getting results in the pool because she, quote, lacked confidence, asked her when she pushed back against another assertion on her lack of confidence, are you on your period? That's pretty confidence building. Another swimmer described how Taylor had taken an innocuous comment that she had made to him during a recruiting phone call that she was, quote, excited to race for something bigger than myself and be a part of the outstanding legacy that Auburn possesses against her for the next 2 years. There's a lot more detail in one of our lead stories on this. So that's a really weird story. Another swimmer who had an asthma attack during a dry land training exercise and said Taylor advised a trainer, don't help her, she's fine, and later lost her spot on the team, wrote that she is, quote, terrified for the girls that are still being coached by him and will have to put up with his verbal abuse. Now, those are all from the Auburn swimmers that I talked with, and that's just a selection of the comments that we were able to collect and read. This from a former Cat Aquatics swimmer might take the cake. It might be the most heartbreaking story you'll ever hear. The young woman, now a junior swimming at an ACC school, college junior swimming at an ACC school, shared with me her complaint to the U.S. Center for Safe Sports that she submitted in 2022 when she was just a high school junior. Long quote here. All of my life, I've been living through the doubt of myself, faltered confidence, and overthinking. I have never thought I was good enough, and when Gary convinced me I was doing nothing right, I believed him. Here I am now. I haven't been able to get through a practice without planning how I'd end my life, and I love this sport. I really do, and I always have, but not like this. By my choice, my life has always revolved around swimming. It means everything to me. I have always attempted to detach my worth from swimming. Now that time has come with ruthless force, for I'm no longer able to love myself while loving the sport. Building confidence. This young lady admitted to her coach that she had no confidence in herself. She was told not to have confidence in herself, and her response to that was to consider suicide every day for however long that was. So pushback from the writer for SwimSpan on the Taylor situation would have seemed to have been in order as she prepared this article about how great Todd DeSorbo is. But I'll write that assuming that the article is ever meant to be actual journalism and not thinly disguised PR. Now, I get why Swim would do that in this case. DeSorbo has coached the women's team at UVA to 5 straight national championships. He was the coach of the women's team at the U.S. women's team at the 2024 Olympics, led that team to 19 medals, including 6 golds. There's a reason it took somebody like me outside of the swim news community to break this story on Gary Taylor. I don't make my money covering swimming. Swim does. They're writing this story to make amends. They wrote a couple of stories not directly about the Gary Taylor situation, but more about me writing about the Gary Taylor situation. So this was a way to make good, make amends. UVA Athletics is the one that should be embarrassed with this story. I wrote last week how I emailed Todd DeSorbo and the athletics director at UVA, Carla Williams, to advise them to issue a statement showing contrition and noting that, quote, UVA Athletics is aware of the issues with Gary Taylor. You should note that he has received some sort of training, retraining, counseling, whatever is the case, to help him deal with the issues that led to the probation, and have Gary make some sort of statement to that same effect. Pretending that nothing happened and hoping the story will just go away is not the UVA way, I concluded that email. The statement that I got back from the UVA spokesperson was this: we are committed to providing a safe and supportive environment where all student athletes can thrive. Any form of abuse or harmful behavior is to be taken seriously and won't be tolerated. Per UVA policy, we are unable to comment on specific matters involving student athletes or personnel. That is the living, breathing definition of pretending that nothing happened and hoping the story will just go away. This fawning article in Swim is not just hoping the story goes away. This is something else entirely. This is rubbing our noses in it. If you've got anything else on this story, please feel free to drop me a line at chris@augustafreepress.com.